The following podcast may be explicit. One Joe Young presents Adventures from the Shed, a tabletop RPG podcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. And here we are at Adventures from the Shed. We are Adventures from the Shed online, coming back at you with our fun Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign, brought to us by the illustrious Jason, who can take it away.
I can take it away, and I will. So we are coming back to Aridin, where we left off on a bit of a cliffhanger, and we'll get to that in just a second. But first, time for the introductions. And as always, the man with the shiniest head starts us off.
Yeah, it's not too bad tonight. This is Chris. I'm playing Ophidian, the number one lover.
Mm-hmm.
He loves the number one
too.
Number one roller.
My name is Eli. I'm playing Raze, the temporarily catatonic tiefling.
Temporarily catatonic. I am Joe. I'm playing the Warforged Artificer who is saving someone who's about to dimension door away.
You don't know that it's you. Okay, we all know it's you. And I'm Randy, and I play the Tabaxi fighter who's going to be left behind to run through this wall himself.
Well, we don't know what's going to happen here, and I think because we left on a cliffhanger with a decision being made by Raze, I think Raze should do the recap here for this one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we started with the feudal crime scene investigation unit coming in to check out the murder that I committed. Things were going well. Nobody was suspecting me. Everybody was told, hey, stay where you are. Don't go anywhere. We'll have to arrest you. So that's going off without a hitch. Captain of the guard is called down, and he's like, I'm not letting this get out to the public, and gassed everyone. I failed my save, so I am paralyzed. Les and Rolex are carrying me into a back room to hopefully try to find a way out.
He failed his save. He was paralyzed.
Ophidian went on what me and my home group lovingly call point-and-click hobo adventures. You just kind of do your own thing and we'll see what happens. Not a lot came of Ophidian's stuff, but from the sound of it, he should be waiting for whoever it is that I leave behind.
Speaking of which, let's get into it here. So we have Ophidian, who is currently inside the actual family home of some poor group that he picked his way into, and with his best roll of the night was able to, again, convince them to allow him to see if they could find a way into the meat and mash. Well, as Rolex and Les were carrying Raze, who was frantically trying to cast a spell to get himself out of there as more and more smoke filled up the room. You guys, Raze and Rolex, you hear more bodies falling out inside of the actual tavern. You hear less people kind of yelling and screaming, and more of them just kind of gasping as, again, it starts to go quiet out there. The smoke is starting to get thicker and thicker, and it's starting to get higher and higher. Raze has already taken some damage from this, but Raze, as you start to, again, just do enough, you can you will your fingers enough to move and create the spell Dimension Door. This arcane circle just starts to flicker and open up and start to make itself wider and wider for you. Who are you taking with you through this Dimension Door?
I'm taking Les.
Oh, really?
No, I made up my mind. I was just told, hey, that's the end of the episode. I'm taking Les because I know that he has that device that he took off of Shiloh's body.
Okay.
No, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad now saying that. I was picturing Raze like he's got all Novocained up at the dentist's office trying to cast a spell while they're drilling a tooth.
I mean, pretty much, yeah.
I don't feel bad about it.
Divisive decision was divisive.
Oh.
Yeah, I get what you did there. So yeah, I'm gonna be. I'll look up at Rolex and tell him, "Go get out of here," and cast the spell. And since both of them were in contact with me, lessen myself, kind of into the dimension door.
Where are you popping out at? You know the building well enough. You can go up, down. Again, you're on the second level, so you can go down to the first level if you want to. Where would you like to go?
I want to go 400 feet west, because I know there's a back alley there that has like a broken down crate. I've had to hole up in there a couple times on stakeout missions.
Okay.
I know it's not secure, but safe.
Okay. All right. So, Les, as this magical circle opens up here, and you guys get sucked in, you're holding Ray's by his feet at this time, and as you pop out, you're holding Ray's by his feet. I need you to make me a deck save to see if you can keep him from just like falling and like smashing into this crate that he just now popped over.
I don't know what my stats are at this time, so I'm just going to roll this d20. I rolled a 6.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to do it.
That shouldn't say. So roll me a d6 if you have it.
Yeah.
Does so poorly he ends up smashing me.
I'm working on
up and instead pushes down.
I keep on reloading, and 3. I keep on reloading, and I'm trying to boost up my other computer too.
So as you pop out here, the gentle supporting person who was holding your head and your body up here is no longer there, and you just kind of fall and you kind of smash into the box as Les is trying to hold you up here. You take 3 points of damage, but you are outside. Rolex and Ophidian. Rolex, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna caveman SpongeBob meme too. As soon as we pop out of there, and I let him go.
The
confused Unga Bunga noises.
Seeing that spot on the wall where it looked like it had been patched over, and that's where we were headed, I would just continue to go in that direction. With it not really affecting me, I don't have that sense of urgency. So I guess I'll just go over to it and kind of like lightly knock, looking for the hollow spot kind of thing, because I've read these detective novels. I know that there's going to be something hollow in the wall somewhere.
Ophidian, on the other side, you hear knock, knock, knock. You hear knocking on the wall. What would you like to do?
If I can open the hatch, I will open the hatch.
Yeah, it's behind like plaster, so you have to tear that and like peel that off, like the wallpaper kind of stuff on there. But yeah, you can try that if you would like.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So as you start tearing into the walls, you see like the wife at the table going, "Oh, what are you doing to my walls? Oh, we just had those painted."
I tossed 10 gold at her.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and do what you need to do.
She used cheap paint.
So as you're ripping this Rolex, you hear like this kind of like tearing of wallpaper down on the other side of there, and you guys are like right there, like knocking and like tearing the things down around each other.
Probably sounds like an animal trying to claw through the wall or something.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, kind of. What would you guys like to do?
I guess I would just pound harder to get that thing to stop making noise.
You hear more and more violent pounding on the other side of Ophidian. What would you like to do?
I will. I pound back just like some weird pattern.
Okay, so Rolex, you hear pounding coming back after you're pounding back at it. What would you like to do?
And I continue to rip the plaster.
Yeah. By this time you've exposed it. It still looks like it hasn't been opened in a very long time, so it's a little bit stuck and stuff like that here. But you've now exposed it at this point. But yeah, you're pounding back violently, and Rolex, you hear pounding coming back as you're banging on the walls.
At this point, Rolex is kind of worried what it is they've walled up in here, what kind of beast it might be, and he's going to step back and ready his heavy crossbow at the opening.
Okay. All right. Ophidian, you hear a stop of the pounding on the other side of the wall here. You have now the hatch completely exposed. It's like this old school door. It looks pretty heavy, but I mean, it's been idle for a very long time. You can try to open it, or you can do something else. It's up to you.
I will do like a normal knock, like 3 raps of like a knock, like I'm knocking on the door.
All right. Rolex, you hear knock, knock, knock.
Who is it?
Can I hear that through the?
I would say, yeah, you'd hear. You're muffling.
Can I tell it's Rolex?
Make an insight check. Let's just see if you know it's Rolex.
That's pretty bad.
By the way, my dex is a +1, so there's a whole 7 earlier.
Yeah, with the 15 + 8, 23, I would say, yeah, you would know it's Rolex. You kind of recognize the monotone voice as far as how it was being presented to it, and you would recognize it be Rolex, yeah.
I will say Rolex got friendlies coming through.
I'm just confused, I think. But I'll lower the crossbow, put it back across my back, and just kind of wait eagerly to see what friendly thing is about to come through.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, Ophidian. You can open the door if you would like to. You can try to open the door. It's definitely heavy. It's definitely stuck.
I'll try to open the door.
Make me a strength athletics check, then, please.
Oh, that's not going to be so good for me, probably.
And it occurs to me, just as I hear him probably monkeying with the door, to say, hold your breath.
So you hear hold your breath, but yeah, and as you hear this, as you say this, Rolex, you just hear kind of like you hear like the door and you can see like the wall like kind of just judder just a little bit, but it doesn't open.
I think I'll try to help.
All right, make me a strength athletics check, please, if you're just trying to push the door open.
I can. Let's see.
And then if you're still helping Ophidian, you can either give Rolex advantage or you can make a check yourself as well.
15, I mean.
How can I
Just
give him
hit the wrong
advantage?
way.
What I need
If you're pulling at the same time as he's pushing.
Yeah, that'll work.
Is
All right,
dog,
Rolex, go ahead and roll
is
with advantage then. Please.
dog
Give me
good good helping?
I will add or roll another one then. So that was 15 and then 22. So yeah.
22,
there we go.
yeah. With a 22, as you're both pushing the door, and you can see like the hinges where they were stuck and just frozen in place because it's been inactive for so long, just kind of pop. And as the door opens up here, like the smoke wafts in.
As soon as I get through it, I would slam it shut behind me.
Okay, all right.
Because I don't want anyone else to be in danger.
Just make me a strength save to see if you can do it so that way Ophidian and the family are not affected by it. Let's see if you can.
Or the family.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Or the family.
14.
Okay, with a 14, let's just see here. I'm just gonna roll.
I still have less selected. Hold on a second here.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. With that here again, you can see some of the small kids like get like a whiff of it because they were like around where Ophidian was, like they were like really like interested in stuff. And you can see some of them kind of like seize up and fall over a little bit, but they don't seem to be that bad. The parents kind of immediately drag them away and start like fanning the smoke out of the area. And you can see them after a few minutes starting to come back around here. Rays, at this point in time, being outside, and you can see now as you crash into this box, there was somebody like in the box, and they kind of like pour out and go, "Oh, what?
It's Oscar the Grouch."
Yeah, he's like, "What happened? Oh, it's just ruining my home. Get out of here!" And he's kind of like pushing you out of the box. You start your joints and limbs start to loosen up, and you're able to talk again as you're outside. It is crowded in the alleyway. There is a lot of people in there. A lot of homeless people who are out there who are like under tarps and things like that in the back of this building here. And that's where you guys are at currently.
Okay. So as I'm starting to like loosen up, being able to breathe again, yeah, I'm just gonna say like, sorry, I had to do something. Oh, let's get out of here, buddy.
Indeed, let's get out of here. I was not expecting that.
Okay, where are you guys making your way off to?
I'm going to the Stew and Pearl.
Okay, all right.
Should we?
Yeah, I'm just gonna walk.
Before you head that direction, should we try to figure out where that wall that we were approaching was going to? I don't know if you could see it, but there was this indentation in the door or the wall that made it look like we could break through the wall. Hopefully, that's what Rolex is doing right now. And try to regroup.
One of two things happens here, Les. One, the cleanup crew goes in and kills Rolex. Two, they realize that he's an asset and try to take him for their own. If that happens, they'll quickly realize that they can't do anything with him and that he'll be no harm to let go. After all, it's not like he saw anything.
True. I'm going to look around. Is there any of those like fairy message things that Ophidian used nearby?
Yeah, there's one down. I think you remember this walking up here down from this building here, like a building down. There is like off to the side, like a built onto the side of it here. There's like a makeshift like a post office area where those things would be at. Yeah, maybe a few minute walk for you.
All right, so you're going to where did you say you were going?
Oh,
Raise.
I'll be headed to the Stew and Pearl. I need to rest for a little while.
All right, I'll stop here at this post office. Let Ophidian know if he sees Rolex to meet us there.
Okay. All right. So you guys break off and you head in your individual directions. Ophidian and Rolex, you guys are inside of this house. You can hear now outside. You hear like muffled voices. You hear, "All right, I think that's enough time. They should be sedated. Let's go in and clean this up." From outside in the hallway. What would you both like to do?
I want to find another exit from this home.
Make me an investigation check, please. Or actually, you gave them 10 coin. They'll tell you where to go. So with 10 gold,
Right.
with 10 gold in there, then that's probably more. You know, Elphidian, this is probably more gold that they see than probably in 3 months of work to a degree sometimes in this part of the town. They kind of point and go to the back over there. There's a small hatch that leads down to our relative's house. We live on top of them here on the first floor. You can get out that way. That'd be the safest, I think.
I will make an insight check just to make sure I don't think they're trying to pull a fast one on me.
Sure, yeah, go make an insight check.
I'll probably screw that. Oh no, actually,
No, seven. Yeah, you believe them. They're kind of sitting there counting their coin and stuff like that. They seem genuinely worried about the smoke that just poured in, that came in from that hatch. Yeah, you think that they are being truthful.
All right, let's go, Rolex.
Yep, I will apologize to them about the wall before going.
They're counting their coin. Like, oh, no worries. We can get that repaired now. We can actually make that look better. I'm looking at wallpapers, actually. You can see that probably made their day doing that kind of thing here. Ophidian's going to be sung of in terms of this individual who fell into their house one day and graced them with money and a windfall.
Actually, we were never here. Don't from my.
Yeah.
No, we don't have to hire someone to break that wall down.
Of course. You were never here. Never here. You guys open up the hatch, and as you open the hatch, the woman, she like yells down. She goes, Beatrice, it's okay, it's all right. We're sending some people down. They're going to be exiting through your home. It's all right, they're fine. And you hear coming up there. What? Somebody's coming down. They kind of have a little bit of a back and forth, but again, you guys drop down into a small home and you make your way out on the first floor. On the first floor, you can see there's a lot of people. Like as you open the doorway to go out to the hall and check it out, you can see there's a lot of people milling back and forth. There's a lot of chatter going on about what's happening on the second floor. The guards are up there. Did you see Garthok? You see there's a lot of chatter up there, but no one seems to pay attention to you guys as you exit out of this house. Where would you guys like to go?
I'd like to. Rolex is going to ask Ophidian. You and her said we were never there while we were there. What does that mean?
It means I don't want her telling anyone we were there.
Why didn't you say that?
It's just a figure of speech. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I'll file that one away.
We'll work on that with you later.
I'm gonna. By the end of this adventure, I'm going to not have been there somewhere.
Exactly. All right. Where are you guys wanting to head?
Rolex, did anyone say where they were going after this?
So here, where I try to study people, I'm going to say, unless you have any objection, Jason, I'm going to say that Rolex would probably assume Ray's would go back to a place that he's familiar with.
Yeah, no, I would say that's a very logical response. Actually.
I would, however, because I don't pay that much attention to places and only people, Rolex would say, where was it that Ray's brought us previously?
The Stew and Pearl.
We would probably find him there.
Yeah, it's one of his hideouts.
We will go to the place where I overturned a table and put my ear on it.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's how he remembers it.
Yeah,
all right.
Pretty much.
If there's nothing else that you guys want to do in the meantime here, Les, you make your way inside of the postal office area. You can send a message to Rolex if you would like. It would be, depending on how you want to do it, if you want to do just the basic message to him that will get to him eventually, you can, or you can do what Ophidian did, which is much more expensive.
I don't even have a look at what I'm carrying as far as gold. I think I only spent a little bit, right? Yeah, I was being cheap.
Yeah, he didn't even pay to get in the train. He just sat on top of it.
There was like one coin to be in the back. And I don't even think the collector got around to finding me at the time. And then I paid for those beers. That was kind of expensive. You know, Let me. Is there a role to do like a recall to like maybe think that they'd know where he would go? Just
I should make an insight check. Let's see if you can kind of discern if you think that your friends would be smart enough to go back to the actual Stew and Pearl, or a place you guys have been to before.
okay. On D&D Beyond, it's 10 plus 2 is 12.
Yeah, it's your call on that one, whether or not you think that Les would actually again put that together.
We haven't been anywhere else except the sewer. I'll just see if they find us. If not,
Okay.
I'll come looking for him.
Okay, all right. So you catch back up to Ray's quickly, and we'll say for the sake of expediency, about maybe 10, 15 minutes goes by of you guys making your way through the large crowds. Again, the city is becoming alive again. It's becoming bustling and loud as it's becoming mid-afternoon. You make your way into the Stew and Pearl. Ray's, you and Les get there first, because as you were getting ready to go to the Stew and Pearl, he walked off to go there, and he's like, actually, I'm going to go with you, and he caught back up to you real quick here. So you guys get to the Stew and Pearl first, and then Ophidian Rolex will be there in just a few minutes after. What would you like to do, Rays? As you get in there, you see the typical group of individuals who are there. What would you like to do?
Well, Rolex is a Warforged, and that was a wall with an indent, so he was trying to escape already, so that's probably what tied into the fact that I just leaned on. They'll probably find us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
So Rays is going to want to
I'll give it a day.
seek an audience with Second, if you're still there, to let them know that exactly how the job went.
Yep. All right. So as you make your way inside, you go up to the door, which is the one that has the guard in front of it here, the secret one to the back office where people aren't there. Les, are you taking Les with you, or are you going to leave Les at the bar?
Oh, I'm leaving him at the bar.
As you drop,
nobody goes into that back room with me.
As you drop Les at the bar, Les, you sit down at the bar and you're just kind of scratching your head as far as what just happened. You woke up to a murder scene. You just had your this place fill up with smoke and people drop down. You see that there is the Eridan Gazette, which is on the bar itself here. And Rays, as you say, wait here. You look down. Make me a perception check, Rays, real quick here, to see if you notice anything.
You son of a bitch.
I
remember.
How long of a trip is it for
You're
Rolex and Ophidian?
You're a few minutes behind. Yeah,
Okay.
You'll be there in just a few minutes.
That's definitely good enough. 22.
22. With that, your eye catches the cover of the Eridan Gazette, which again is devastation on the docks. Onlookers look in horror as civilians and people and gangs wage war in the city streets here. And on the cover, you can see there are several photos of people, guards, again, fighting with Dresden hooks and things like that. And you see your friend on the actual cover of this particular paper, impaled through his chest, sitting there. What would you like to do, Rays?
Rays is going to pause for a moment, looking at the newspaper. Hell yeah. For almost 10, 15 seconds before visibly shaking his head, taking a breath, and walking into the back room. Les would, if with Les being right there in front of me, he would absolutely notice, because this is just so far out of how Rays holds himself, how he presents himself to people, and especially in public places.
What would you like to do, Les?
I just found out that the thing was working again, so I'm logging back in now. So I just see him noticing the paper, and he's just kind of shocked or something. What did I miss? Sorry.
So Rays is looking at the paper, but looking at him, it's clear he's not reading it. He's just staring at it for a few seconds before actually taking a moment to what you would interpret as gather himself.
Yeah. You see on the front cover there is pictures of people being killed, buildings on fire, and there's one particular photo of an individual, a man that you kind of recall seeing when you guys first came here. You saw Rays speak to him for just a few minutes. You didn't interact with this person yourself, but you see somebody who looks very familiar on the front cover, who is impaled by a weapon and who is dead on the actual front cover.
Okay, so Raze, all right, Les will have gone close to Raze and looked at that. Are you okay?
Yes, fine.
You seem a bit shooken up.
I guess it's just registered that we've lost an entire district. Burned to cinders. And with that, I'll like kind of snap my fingers without making the snapping noise and use prestidigitation to light the newspaper on fire.
Yeah,
Just immediately just flash burn it.
Can I just use some insight to see if I feel like he's telling the truth?
Sure, make an insight check.
My deductive investigation training.
I mean, you're due for a good one.
Yeah.
Say, if he rolls a
Hey.
20, he knows he killed her.
19. Yep.
Wait a second. It
Wait a
was
sec. There were hoof prints in there. Oh my god. Oh my god.
So I pull up my sword and I stab it straight through his chest.
So with a 19, I will leave this to Raze. Raze, are you being honest with Les or no?
you can tell that Ray's is being honest, but it's clear that there's layers to his sentence. What he's telling you is not a lie or deception in any way. It is just now hitting him how much that he's lost. But you get the feeling that it's a bit more personal for him.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll do nothing at this time and just, all right, if you need a drink, let me know. I'll order it too. And if you don't need one, I need two today.
Okay. As you guys are doing this here in Raise, you start to head towards the back room. Ophidian and Rolex, you would just get there. Because again, you guys did have to take some time getting out of that room, going through the chute, all that stuff there. So you guys
the
would
stairs.
Yeah, getting
Yeah,
up the stairs.
I would have wanted Rolex to update me on what I'd missed.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't part of any murder investigation or what. I have no idea that's that, right?
Yeah.
He's like, Shayla's dead? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Just, what? Oh no.
And Rolex would
Oh, no.
recount in very good detail as far as what everybody did, but not necessarily where they were when they did anything. But he knows all about the people and their actions.
Would he have like this is the weapon, like this
Oh,
is
yeah.
the crime scene stats, right?
Yeah, I mean, without he didn't read whatever Les wrote down, but he was there to see the scene, and then
Right.
Les told him, "Go tell the bartender to hold everyone here." So there was a little bit of time that he didn't see anything, but the scene didn't change during that time. And then he went back and he was watching through the door. The guards were doing all this, talking about cleaning the place up, etc. So definitely would relay all of that information because we can't think of a reason not to.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you guys enter in right as you see Ray's, and there's like a scent of like burning paper in the air as you walk in. You're like, oh, that's interesting. Rolex, you probably don't pay any mind to it because you're Rolex. It's interesting for you. It's a new scent when you walk into this room that you've been into. But Ophidian, you definitely know what's that here. And then you see Les sitting at the bar and Ray's just making his way around the edge of the bar towards the back room. What would you guys like to do?
I guess we'll go over and sit with Les. What's going on, Les?
Ray's went to go talk to his people. Probably let them know how everything went with the winter speak quarantine district, and that's my guess at least. I don't really know, but he went to the back room. Basically, told me to wait here, but he suggested it by kind of a push towards the chair.
Is your drink burning?
I don't know if it's going to be hot yet. I haven't got it yet. But no, he set some paper on fire.
Yeah, 2 pints come up and they get put right in front of you, Les.
Here you go.
Thank you. They pocket the coin. All right, Raze, you enter into the back room. There you see the second, the man that you only know by that title, sitting down behind his large desk. He is, again, thumbing through the Eridan Gazette currently. What would you like to do?
Burn that one too. Don't read that.
Yeah. As the door opens up, he doesn't even look up at you. He just goes, Tower, good to see you. Report on what has been going on.
And I'm just going to recount everything from the moment we took Shyla under our our charge up to the daring escape of the SWAT raid, and he's going to make it a point to say that while he did expect these Wintersmere Guard to try and cover it up, he didn't expect them to be so aggressive with it. And that was a miscalculation on his part, and it is with the deepest regret that he handled the situation so poorly.
He looks at you and he goes, well, Tower, you know that things that are done in the field are never perfect. That's why we send out the best. This is actually, in my opinion, very good news. He pushes the paper towards you and he goes, this paper here has rallied several individuals in the districts to our cause to overthrow the mutineers. They're also losing power as the Shah families are starting to again take up arms against them. The loss of Shyla Steelden as well is a big boon. This opens up many opportunities for our infiltrating teams to get into the power plants and remove that particular stick that the Wintermeres hold over this kingdom. I would call this a success, Tower.
As Mr. the Second shows Ray's the newspaper, he kind of makes it a point to just look off to the side. Thank you, sir. I'm well aware of the situation in the Dresden port.
Yep. And as you say this to him, he stands up and he puts his hand out to you and he places something on the desk. I'm sorry, he places something in your hand as he holds on to you here, and he gives it to you and goes, "You've done an excellent job, Tal. An excellent job here. But I'm afraid there is potentially more that we need from you. Your friends, the two from this old family, you said that they recognized this creature that was inside the quarantine zone, yes?
No, they recognized the insignia, one of the insignias they were wearing.
That's right, my apologies, Tower. This is very disturbing news, and this could throw a wrench in our overall plans to unseat power. I need you to make it a point to learn what this creature is and what your two friends' affiliation is with them. Is that something you can handle, Tal?
Of course, sir. If I may be so bold to ask, may this be the only assignment that I be put on until it is finished?
Of course.
And he's going to glance at the newspaper. Suffered personal loss.
Yes, he looks down at the paper, and your friend has been inside here before.
It would be common knowledge with the regulars of the fifth form that Cormont is a very close friend with Ray's.
Yes,
and the only connection to a quote unquote normal life that he had, because Cormont had no idea.
Yeah, and as you look down at this, he goes, "I apologize, Tower, for putting this in front of you. I know that your friend here's loss is quite difficult for you, but use that loss. Take it out on those who have taken your friend. Use it to fuel you."
Of course, sir. I have every intention to do so.
He looks down and he goes, there will be no other assignments for you until this one is complete. This is priority for you.
Thank you, sir, and understood.
As you have that piece of paper that he gave you, I'll go ahead and send you what that is.
Okay.
And with that, he kind of goes, "Now, if you'll excuse me, Tyler, I have other things to attend to." And he goes back to doing things unless there's anything you want to ask of him.
I will bring up that one of my companions, Shukati, has close ties with the Iridian Gazette. If you wish for any part of this to go public, they have a solid reputation, and I'm sure that I can get something in the paper.
He looks at you and he goes, "Yes, the press is very important here, and this is quite interesting news that you have this particular power in your back pocket. We will evaluate the situation as it unfolds today and let you know if your friend can be of use.
Understood. Thank you.
All right. With that, what are the rest of you doing out in the bar? Again, you can hear in the tavern. There's a buzz about what's going on in the city, what happened at the docks. Again, that is the talk of the town right now. What would you guys like to do? Les and Rolex, obviously, you still have your Breaking Waves monastery that you were trying to get to prior to everything that was going on. Ophidian, you're still waiting for another response from some of the things that you sent out here, and then also you have some things that you received. What would you guys like to do?
Les is going to do a mixture of nursing his drink for a few minutes and then pounding like a quarter of it, and then back to nursing again as he studies his rigorous notes he took inside that room.
Okay.
He's not used to losing people he, even though recently befriended, just friends in general. So,
Okay.
especially like that.
Rolex, Ophidian, what do you guys do?
I would think I would take advantage of what I've recently learned and try and comfort Les because he seems a little distraught. And so Rolex at one point, while Les is, nurse pounding his drink,
Hello, nurse.
He'd lean over and in so much as Rolex might whisper, he would just say more quietly, Les, perhaps she was never really there.
Les is going to turn towards the Rolex and just kind of like lift an eyebrow and give him a weird look like, the hell? Whatever you say, pal. Give me about an hour and we'll head towards the monastery.
Okay. And I'm really pleased with myself now. That went well.
All right.
I like it.
Ophidian?
I will just scan the crowd to see if there's anybody's interest here, to see if I can listen to any conversations. But and if not, I will ask Les about his take on the murder and what he saw and what he thinks.
Yeah, the people here. This is a closed bar in terms of like of who's let in here. This is a fifth form kind establishment here. So you don't hear anything super interesting that you haven't already heard. So I would say if you want to, you can talk to Les about what happened at the actual crime scene and everything else.
So does any information that Rolex or Les has given me make me think that Reyes might have done something? Because I kind of know what he's about a little bit.
You kind of know what he's about, but because Les failed so spectacularly at putting the pieces together, what he tells you confuses you more. I would say you might have your suspicions still that he might have something in there because again he did make it a point to take her by himself, but everything that Les says to you does not implicate Reyes.
Well, I do have a lot of information that leads to someone who they might have been familiar with. Shayla might have been, like, the window wasn't shattered or broken into or left open. The door wasn't barred. The size of the print that was in the blood and the lack of a struggle. I mean, they had a pouch, but it didn't look like it was ripped off or anything. So.
No, but again, because the way you went about your investigation, you definitely have those things down as far as that it was somebody who came in, who accessed. But again, there were really no locks on these doors. This place is a seedy kind of underbelly kind of a place here. And there was, Pashar family documentation and things like that with her. Nothing that you saw pointed to Reyes. So you have some suspicions. And again, because you didn't roll well enough in the investigation to combine any kind of connection to him, I would say that with what Les would tell you, it would be very, very tough to even put Reyes together as far as a prime suspect. You might have, again, an inkling, because, again, that's your prerogative as a player in terms of having an idea of who might be a part of it here. But what Les told you as far as the evidence doesn't match up.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to do? As Reyes comes out of the room, you guys are all back together.
I would just check to see if there's any messages, from any of my people.
Nothing yet. Most likely very soon, but nothing yet.
Your walk of Ray's heading towards us. I'll just lift up the other drink.
Ray's
So,
will take it. Just
So
start-
Shyla Steelden, huh?
And I had put poison into that one. So
I mean, I have the con save for you to do it. Clearly.
So
Les has no reason to do that. So.
I want to look at Ray's and go, Shyla Steelden, that's kind of a mess. What do you think happened there, Ray's?
Raises for someone like Ophidian, it's very obvious that Raise is extremely upset, but is still kind of hiding it. So like this would go completely over Rolix's head. Les has an inkling, but he kind of saw it start. Ophidian would know, like, Raise is just kind of not happy here. I think that I failed to uphold a promise, and that someone will have to pay dearly for it.
For what?
And he will say no more. And just slowly drink.
So once again, re-establish my notes. I have no struggle, door not barred with anything at all, like even as a makeshift, by keeping people out. Last scene with Ray's, small footprints in the blood. She was alone, like all night instead of being, in a group. We usually stay together. Nothing taken. It was late at night. The sword in the bag, and I know that it's possibly the Fashar family because of the stuff that was left behind. So that's everything I knew.
Well, it's not possibly the Bashar family. It's likely the Bashar family.
But with a Wintermere guard sword through her chest.
Well, clearly that's the distraction.
Les isn't fully sure because all the weird details about it. So.
Okay, so what do you guys want to do? You guys spend the next few minutes maybe in awkward silence as you guys are dealing with your own personal kind of issues. Rolix still very pleased with himself in terms of his connection as far as words and wordplay. What would you guys like to do now?
The empty glass will hit the counter. All right, Rolix, we're going to head towards that that place with the monks.
Sounds like a plan.
And next to that glass he laid down was 3 more glasses that were also empty.
Okay. All right. So is that where the group is wanting to go next?
You all 4 of you guys that look like twins can come too, if you want.
I'll look at Ophidian, kind of like amused. What say you?
Didn't know Ray's had a twin. And
what's the purpose of this monastery visit?
We know a guy. Well, Rolix knows a dude he's gonna tell us about the weird white elf thing we saw with the symbols.
I've been meaning to ask you about that. You seem to recognize her.
It was the symbol, and Rolex will point to the symbol that he has both on his shoulder, one like hanging around his chest. There's one on the shield that he carries with him, and it's the same symbol. And it is from the family that constructed me.
And we assumed that creature was some kind of drow. That we were assuming.
Yeah, something like that. Yes,
It was a soul sucker.
Go ahead.
Not a just kind of like how you're like just like you're like a half-blood Yuan-Ti. This seems to have drow features and traits, but there's definitely something else there.
Is there anything that we know about? Because there's is that led a drow clan? Is there anything weird connection with that possibly?
As far as what? I'm sorry, which clan?
The Zetletta drow clans that are mentioned with the Bashar family.
Yes. Make what kind of check would you like to do to see if you can connect the dots, if there are dots to be connected?
I guess insight. Because I have information with the Bashar family because one of my aliases works for that. So I'll use insight.
All right.
Yay!
Chris has turned a corner with them
There we
dice.
go.
All
There we go.
right. I'm back, baby.
There we go. You learned nothing. No, I'm, just kidding.
You needed a 36. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about
The
that.
DC
Yes,
was a
yes.
27. Go
I'm
figure.
Sorry, Timmy. You need a 27 to live.
Well, the DC was a 26 and a half, actually. I'm sorry. Okay, so there have been, again, and you know this, the Bashar family's been tracking drow activity in the sewers. They've been tracking them underground. They have been long since gone. There was once a family that ruled underground and was, again, the subterranean kind of rulers beneath Eridan, and there was a relationship with them. That was many, many, many years ago. What exactly are you trying to discover? Because with what you rolled, you can ask whatever you kind of want here. So I just want to know, what are you specifically trying to discover with this connection potentially?
I guess I'm trying to figure out who this person could be if they are connected with this. I'm just trying to fill in the blanks because I don't really know. I mean, what information we have is like the part of lineage of elves with rumored ties to the Zetlita Drow clans, and the Bashar family's trying to push those pushes family. I don't know. I'm just trying to. I have a sliver of evidence. I'm trying to get like a bigger chunk, right?
Okay, so with what you know from the Bashar clan has found evidence that the drow that they thought were completely gone and eradicated many years ago, are back. There are some remnants of them underground and still operating, and they're operating in the shadows and dealing with things underground or with potential gangs like the Fifth Form, or not like the Fifth Form exactly they're doing here. I'm just saying like those kind of organizations.
Right.
They are, again, affiliated with those. Now, this individual here that you know of, Sifia Antiva was the name of the royal family of that particular I named the thing too, and I can't freaking say it.
It reminds me of some cartel name, actually.
Yeah. That's why I sounded good, but I can't pronounce things as Joe knows. I'm horrible at pronouncing things, even things that I name.
Horrible pronunciation.
The Zetlita clan, Antiva is one of their surnames that goes very, very far back. So if this thing is calling itself Antiva, it probably is very old, or it's part of a very old bloodline and is connected in that particular fashion. So you would be able to probably piece that all together with the things that you know from the Bashar clan as far as what they have gathered on movements of these people who they thought were long since gone and dead and destroyed, who are now back.
All right, I will relay the information to Rolex then, and Les, since they're kind of dead.
Okay.
That means anything to them.
Shall we do history?
Considering I'm like 100 years old, I don't know. There may have been something programmed into the history at that point, but I wouldn't necessarily have firsthand knowledge.
Sure. Go ahead and make a history check for me.
Okay. I'm going to count that as a skill check for history.
And I do history as well.
I got a 2. I mean, I get to add 5 to it, but that only brings it to
Rogue's going through file not found.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hard drive got erased.
The symbol, sector. I mean, the symbol is easily recognizable, but nothing with,
Yeah. All right. And then Les, what did you get?
And Roland was waiting to clarify. 16.
16. All right. Les, with a 16, I mean, Rolex obviously doesn't recognize anything that was just said here. Les, you would know that the best place to get information would probably be the Breaking Ways Monastery. You yourself personally don't know. You do know that the Antiva bloodline was one of the main factors that caused the downfall of your particular family. They were integral in the Wintermere family, again, basically destroying what was left of your lineage of the people that you protected. But you don't know very much more than that with the 16.
Okay. I'll share that with Ophidian then.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know much, but I know.
Okay.
We need to go to the monastery.
All right. So you guys make your way to the monastery. The streets are crowded. It's packed. As you guys make your way down through the Stew and Pearl and past the building that you guys had left and had dimension doored and broken out of, you can see outside, coming down through the front level, you can see there is a wagon, and they're loading it up with bodies. And you guys recognize that some of those bodies are the people that were inside the meat and mash. You recognize the barmaid. You can see like her apron kind of like just hanging out from underneath one of the covers as they lob them in, and you can overhear some of the guards talking to some of the people outside, going, "Oh yes, no, there was some sort of horrible accident inside there. Some sort of toxin came out. The building is secured, but unfortunately, most of the people inside were killed. Tragic stuff here." As you guys are making your way past down the street towards the building where the Breaking Waves Monastery is there anything you guys would like to do in this scene, or are you guys just going to continue to pass by?
I say out loud, she should have listened to me about that warrant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do the bodies look like they're harmed, like stabbed through or anything?
They're all covered, but make me a perception or investigation check to see if you can maybe notice anything about them.
Just a 7.
Now you're just more kind of upset that some of these people that you've seen here, and again, that young man that you were kind of like holding and saying, "Get it together, man." You can see, their bodies, the pieces that you recognize as far as like their ankle or their shoes or their cloak or something like that. You can see them all being piled into this wagon and being taken away.
Do I feel like that poison would have straight up killed them or just paralyzed them though?
You would know, Ray's, he was starting to struggle to breathe. So you recognize that, yeah, it probably would have it long enough. It probably would have done it.
Okay. Well, if I had thought that maybe that would have killed them, well, I wouldn't have known that without getting up to Ray's. So it was a little too late at that time.
Yeah, and then again, you yourself weren't feeling those effects because you were succeeding on your con saves. You would have no idea.
So now Les is even more down, just kind of shaking his head even more.
Yeah. Okay.
Rolex wants to take a little more advantage.
Monastery?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I can't. Rolex, we'll go first, and then we'll go to Ophidian. Right?
Yeah. Well, for me, it's just a sidebar. Roland wants to take a little more advantage of this phrase he is now fond of, and do a little friendly nudge to Ophidian and say, "We were never there."
You got that right, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you hear some people, you see some people like look back and go, "Oh, you were never there," as you're walking past. What were you gonna say, Ophidian? As far as where's the Breaking Waves Monastery?
Yeah, where's it located?
It's about 3 buildings down. It's about a probably 30-minute walk for you guys through the current traffic of people that are there.
And I was going to ask the same thing, but based on the map. And I know we're audio only, but if you could describe a little of our map again, what district we're in.
Still District 12 for this monastery.
Yes, so it's towards the Van Heiden Stadium. So if you look at the actual map here, you guys were closer to the edge of District 15 and 12 in like the center cluster mass of where the bulk of this population is. You then started moving your way to the west towards Van Heiden's Coliseum Stadium, this massive undertaking that took years and years to build as a testament to the Van Heiden's love of entertaining the masses and how they control, almost the media to a degree in this particular town. You can see it as you get closer through the districts because of how tall it is. But yeah, you're making your way that way there. And it's only about a 30-minute walk from where you're at currently.
Cool. All right.
Okay, cool.
All right. Anything else you guys want to do, or we will fast forward to the Breaking Waves Monastery?
Just on the way there, Les will like put his arm around Rolex the best he can, just be like, "Thanks for trying to cheer me up there, buddy."
You're welcome.
And then he'll duck behind a trash can and vom.
Purge.
Yeah. As you duck behind the trash can, make me just a insight check to see if you vomit where you want to vomit at, because there's a lot of people in the streets right now.
Vomits up a hairball.
12.
Okay, with the 12, you vomit, you aim where you want it to go, but there are so many people around you. You get the splashback happens.
It's a little splash damage.
It gets on some people's like cloaks and their kind of stuff. And they're like, you kind of like apologize a little bit and you continue moving on here. It wasn't a clean vomit, unfortunately.
I'm terribly sorry. Here's some silver.
They go, okay. All right. You make your way to the Breaking Waves Monastery. Now, Rolex and Les, this is on the top floor of this particular building. It's on the 32nd floor. It's up on, as you guys make your way up, the building gets narrower and narrower as it gets higher and higher for this particular one. And there is a basically like a house with a rooftop hatch that goes up onto the actual roof itself, where they have like their own kind of almost like Zen garden or meditation kind of stuff on there. As you guys make your way up here, it takes you guys probably about a good 15-20 minutes to make your way all the way up to the top of this place. Ophidian is not happy because Ophidian does not like climbing stairs. But
I don't like cardio.
Yep. But you guys make it all the way up to the top, and there is a half symbol of the Juralik family on the door, etched in, and it says Breaking Ways Monastery on it. What would you guys like to do?
I think Ray should open the door.
I was about to say, Raise will go to open the door.
All right, Raise. As you go to open the door, you open it up here, and you can see there are several people inside. It's quite packed. There's about 10 people inside. Most of them have looks to be like this matching robes on. They look to be like almost like student-like robes on there, and they're reading different things, journals. They're reading different books, and then you see one of the individuals. They look back and they go, "Excuse me, welcome to the Breaking Waves. Are you here for tutelage? What can we do for you here?"
Excuse the interruption. Some companions of mine were seeking your company, your advice. I merely guided them here.
Yeah. Okay. As you say this here, Rolex and Les, are you guys making your way inside?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Rolex is firmly established as a follower, so.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So as you make your way inside, you hear coming down the stairs. You hear like a regular footstep, and then you hear a clink, and then a regular footstep, and then clink, and then coming down the stairs, you see an elderly individual. He has a long, graying beard that is braided almost like Norse style, going down his chest. He has several tattoos on, and he is missing a leg. And the leg, instead of replaced, is replaced with a leg that looks not very much unfamiliar to what Rolex's legs look like. It looks to be mechanical in nature, and he comes down. And as he comes down, he has his arms like inside these long ropes. He opens up his arms, and there's a claw, a mechanical one that is just kind of moving back and forth. And he walks down. He goes, "Well, who here is looking for advice?" And he looks over at the two of you, and he looks at you, Rolex, and he goes, clink, clink. He starts to walk his way over. He goes, my. It has been some time, my friend. Do you remember me?"
It's a damn good question. Jason, do I, or do I have to think if I remember him?
Was this the first?
Rolex, tell him you were never here.
I'm about to. I'm going to find out.
See the person that he remembered that he drug us here for?
So
Do you remember me, old friend? Let me see if I have your answer.
this person was a longtime teacher and somebody who was very close to the Juralik family. You recognize, again, some of the mechanical components on it. They look like very similar to the ones that you were built with. You were built 100 years ago.
Right.
But because of how Rolex's memory is and how some things might be locked, roll me a insight check or some sort of other check if you want to see if it unlocks and you know who they are, or if it maybe is a mystery to you still.
I think insight's a good one because he's a people robot.
Yep, I like it.
Yeah. And as far as just the refreshers part, as far as his memory goes, Rolex only has first-person memories for the last 3.5 years or so.
Yep,
Everything
exactly.
else he has was put in him when he was built and programmed 100 years ago, and he's got about a 97-year gap of knowledge, not knowing what happened in the interim.
If he hesitates, Les is going to bonk him on the head like you would, like a machine that's not working.
A 10, just completely average.
With a bonk on the head, make me another roll. We'll give you advantage on there.
Roll with bonk.
Yeah, as your eyes are kind of spinning.
Yeah.
Les is like, "Oh, this happens sometimes."
Oh, that was much better. That's a 19. Yeah.
Les is like this. He gets stuck like this.
You're the one that brought me here. You know something.
As you smack him on the head, the wheels go ting. Yes, you recognize this individual. You recognize pieces, like memories start to come together inside of your head. You recognize seeing him here with different family members. You recognize you walking into a actual room and him being there as they go, "Yes, this is our first of the prototype here. Look at this. Fantastic." Again, test your reflex. You can see him. He was seemingly there when you were built. way back then. Everything's still kind of jumbled around a little bit, but you recognize him though.
Move the toggle stick to look up
Yeah.
and down.
Press X to jump.
So maybe I wasn't never here.
He looks at him and he goes, I guess we never really did get those linguistics routines kind of put in place there. So anyways, he looks at you, Les, and he goes, what about the rest of you here? What do you want?
I'm with Rolex. We're actually from the same family.
He looks at you, goes, from the same family. That's a long time ago, my friend. What proof do you have?
I'll kind of open up the cloth in between my jacket and my symbol, revealing one of the symbols of the family that I keep hidden.
He instead of getting closer to you, he just reaches up and touches his temple, and an eye just starts to pull out towards you like a telescope. And he looks at it, he goes,
Dude, that's awesome.
oh.
Lex turns a little green again when that happens.
He goes, I haven't seen that particular emblem here. That's a distant relative, but still part of the family. I thought they were wiped out eons ago, or years ago. I'm sorry.
No, they're all gone, but some of us remain from their protectors.
Well, the Juralek gods are always welcome here at the Breaking Waves. What about the other two? What are you here for?
Rolex is
Throw
tapping
them
his
off the
temple to see if
I'm
his
here
eye
to
will
make
pop out.
waves. What do you know about the Antiva family name?
As you say this to him, his demeanor kind of shifts, and he looks over at the young person who greeted you guys, and he goes, please have the students go up and meditate for a little while. I need a moment. They kind of goes, yes, sir. Goes and grabs them. And they start to head upstairs. As they do, he goes, the Antiva family. What on earth would make you want to bring up such a vile name like that?
Well, we saw something. Wouldn't say it was a drow, possibly a drow, wearing the Jurlic, family symbols.
Ever heard the name Scythia Antiva?
He looks at you and he goes, you can see like a chill, like some of his hair stand up on end on like the whiskers on his neck and things like that. And he goes, Scythia Antiva is dead. There's no way he can be alive.
Somebody forgot to tell him.
That thing's a man.
That is a man, and I was almost its snack, so I'm pretty sure it's alive.
It was also wearing other family symbols like trophies.
Do you give him descriptions of who those symbols?
Yes. That was something I remember while I was sitting there sniping and just staring at what was going on, and I caught the Jurlic symbol, and you mentioned the others. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we got to go look for the sewer when we're leaving as well. So we saw quite a few of them.
All right. So with that, you tell him of the different symbols on there, and you can see him take a step back, and he sits down and he goes, "This is quite unsettling. If Antiva is back, something big is going to happen. Please, Rolex, would you please head over to there in the other room? There's a book I need for you, please. You'll know it when you see it."
Okay, I will go check.
Also, what's your name, sir?
Tulsi.
Tulsi?
Yes. All right, Rolex, as you make your way over, make me an investigation check, please.
Investigatory. I'm good at investigating. No, I rolled a 1. I got Chris's die.
Welcome to the party, pal.
So as you walk into the other room here and you look into the actual sea of books that's in there, all you find, sadly, is the end of the episode.
No! I rolled it myself. No.
I was actually going to go over and make up an excuse to give a bardic inspiration.
And earlier, Eli, when you were starting to describe how you were not telling a lie, so to speak, all I could think of was the old Obi-Wan thing. Darth Vader betrayed and killed your father. And he's like, what I said was true from a certain point of view. So that was pretty cool.
Ay.
Well, thank you guys for playing. We'll find out what book he's looking for in the next game, and we'll find out what is going on with some of these interconnected storylines as we pick up next week.
Until then, we say
We're never there.
We'll see
Give
how
me back
many.
my best
yeah.
friend, damn it.
We'll see how many ones we can roll next week.
Not me. I'm all
10.
out.
Yeah, you should be all out for the next
I'm all out.
at least 4 or 5 games. You should be done with it.
adventuresfromtheshed.com.
At
Next week,
least
Chris is going to have nothing but ones next week. We just cursed it. We spoke it into existence.
Maybe it'll be for, oh, jeez.
at least it wasn't a door that time, but Les is still